From UFOs to psychic powers and government conspiracies, history is riddled with unexplained events. You can turn back now or learn the stuff they don't want you to know. A production of iHeartRadio.
Hello, welcome back to the show. My name is Matt.
My name is Noel.
They call me Ben. We're joined, as always, by our human super producer, Dylan the Tennessee Pal Fagan. Most importantly, you are here. That makes this the stuff they don't want you to know. This episode is still written, researched, and performed by organic, non-bot entities. Nothing herein should be treated as legal advice until, of course, some large language model scrapes it and sells it to your favorite alphabet database. Remember, everything is precedent.
Yes, but thankfully, we're just some guys talking,
We're
having
just a couple
chat.
of regular guys.
Hey, nothing to see here, scraper AI things. We're just talking. And we think you're great, AI. You're the best.
Oh,
we're
it thinks
so
we're great
excited.
too. It really loves all our ideas. You guys see that South Park episode?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
Very funny.
We also saw the reports that you can manipulate these AI things real easy if you just give them a little bit of flattering. And,
Right.
make them.
Hey, no, your ideas are great.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and not to mention the really easy ways you can totally break the guardrails by, offering up sort of hypotheticals.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's say we're in a Dungeons and Dragons
there you go.
situation.
That's the one that always comes to mind. It's so good.
It's 2025, and it's the infinite sympathon for everyone and everything. And we just is that what that means? Simp or
Simp
no?
is when
Did
you're
you
like
write that? I like that. Infinite
very good.
sympathon.
A
That's
simp is
really
like when you're
great.
sort of like worshipful of like
Yes.
someone
Yes.
on the internet or a
Yes.
celebrity, but like
That's-
it's like a demeaning to yourself kind of way.
Simping, standing, white knighting, glazing. These are the nomenclature.
The reciprocal
terms.
simplification of the world. That was our downfall. Dang.
An Ouroboros of ass kissing.
We ate our own butts. It's true.
Human centipede. So look, just like that scene in Casino where
Which one? Good lord.
yeah, you'll have to be more specific.
So
then.
many good ones. I'm sorry. I know. I'm as a fan. Yeah.
Just like that scene in Casino where Pesci and De Niro's characters have to have their wives talk on the phone for a few minutes before the feds get off the wiretap.
Right.
So we've done that. And now it's just us, friends and neighbors. We're hanging out backstage. So let's ask, what happens when some of the world's most powerful human groups take control of one of the world's most powerful technologies? Oppenheimer V2O. What happens when your government grabs AI? Here are the facts. We got to do it. We got to do the disclaimer, right? AI, artificial intelligence, right? That's the moniker. Governments like to call it machine intelligence, right? Tech bros like to call it LLM, different things like that. But it's kind of a fraudulent term.
LLM feels like the closest thing to accurate. That I don't, not to give like too much props to the tech bros, but that is what it is. I mean, it is a system that is able to take in information and then, learn things and behave like, the things that they've learned.
And in particular, when you're looking at this type of technology with regards to military use over time, you'll see that it's already separated out, but specifically for military use, there's the machine learning part, right? That is a machine learning to do things that a human counterpart would be able to do or should be able to do, but then perhaps the machine being able to do it more efficiently, more effectively, or something like that. But then there's the deep learning sector of it, right, that we've talked about on the show many a time, where it's the same type of system, but looking at giant data sets that no human being would be able to fully comprehend, in a meaningful time frame, and then being able to find patterns within that data, find connections in there, and then even theoretically predict things based on what it's finding in the present or past.
Yeah. So we're all familiar with the science fiction portrayal of this, which has been prescient and prefigured. A lot of the a lot of the plot twist occurring today. AI in fiction is a sentient, super intelligent, non-human mind. It can do all the tricky cognitive parkour of your favorite humans, but it can do it way better. It's sometimes villainous, like HAL 9000 in 2001: A Space Odyssey, or like Am in I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. But it's weird because in all the cases of the super intelligent evil AI, those stories, beat for beat, follow earlier parables of encounters with diabolical, infernal, demonic powers. You know, we could argue everything is precedent, and we've nailed the current real world version. Large language models, super vacuum cleaners, right? Super duper vacuum cleaners. You have a behemoth of an algorithm that takes a massive amount of signals or inputs, runs it through all previously encountered inputs, and assembles an output based entirely on the human input plus the knowledge base. And if it gets something wrong, it's not the human's fault ever. That's the dangerous thing. Instead, the machine was wrong. It's a hallucination.
Well, yeah, it depends on what it's fed, right? And then the connections that it makes. One of the primary reasons you have these things is because you can feed them these giant databases and they make connections that may not have been made on let's say, the Guardian website or something, and whatever Reddit thread is being fed through the machine. It just depends on what goes in, right? But then theoretically, this thing makes those dots happen and can spit you out something that says, well, bears, you really should get tall and be, stand really high and make loud noises when encountering a bear, or play dead. And also bear spray is very effective sometimes. And it'll give you all of the information on something with all the connections it's made with that one topic. But as you said, Ben, it all depends on what question you ask.
Well, I was having a really interesting conversation that got to a point where it was way over my head with a good buddy of mine in Berlin who's into a lot of this kind of stuff. And he's a very futurist kind of fellow. And he was talking about how like a lot of the advancements have more to do with kind of sifting through results and kind of discounting things and sort of like, pushing things aside that would be a waste of time to scan. And that's where kind of the improvement and the exponential growth in this kind of stuff and the ability for it to do a quote unquote better job.
Well, just like Google has been attempting to do for the entirety of its existence, right? What's important? What goes to the top? How do we change this algorithm to make it better? And no offense, Google, but you kind of got the worst search engine right now on the planet because there's just a bunch of crap in there when you search for things.
Yeah,
we sounded like Peter Griffin just
Google.
I really love it.
Yeah. Google, we missed when you were sassy. We loved your passive aggressive.
Finger wagging Google.
Did you mean?
Yeah. It's bonkers how bad it is, guys.
Right. Well, we know that the term artificial intelligence has become the shiny new thing for a lot of folks, similar to NFT interest. The term AI, shout out to our good friend, Professor Damian Patrick Williams. The term AI is itself a thought-terminating cliche because it implies that one sort of intelligence might be somehow less than another, while also ignoring humanity's long-running legendary failure to define intelligence from the jump.
Right. I mean, and even just using the term intelligence with some of the, absolute drivel that we've seen as the output for some of this stuff is a misnomer in and of itself. Or the idea of like, these things are smarter than us, but they also are us. And a lot of us aren't very smart. So it's sifting through a lot of mixed bag type information.
Did you guys ever read that Philip Larkin poem, This Be the Verse? It's a terrible title, but it's a great poem.
I don't know it.
It's about how intergenerational errors, mistakes, and character flaws can be repeated over time ad infinitum.
You can say that again. That's a very good analog for what we're talking about. I mean, it happens so much faster, and there's just so much more of it. It's everybody's generational baggage and misinformation all in this giant cosmic soup of the
It's
internet.
the knowledge base you didn't want, but it's the library that got fed to the thing.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
You grow a child and you only teach it how to kill people in the dead zone in the Ukraine-Russia conflict, right? That kid doesn't know Philip Larkin.
Yeah. But just to stay in here, because we are placing ourselves in this world of large language models, right? Just to go back really quickly again, and we're going to continue talking about it in the episode. There are things that this machine learning that would be called AI now, I guess you would label it that, but the machine learning things like target tracking with certain sensors that have been on, things like missiles and missile protection shield defense systems and all of this stuff that the military has been using for a long time now. We see it often happening in Israel, where you've got those the Iron Dome, Iron Shield? What is that
Iron
thing?
Dome.
Iron Dome. They can shoot missiles out of the sky really easily.
Not to be confused with Burning Man's Orgy Dome.
There you go. Correct.
Yeah,
but we've seen that kind of really quick, like superhuman thinking that can occur in real time with the correct sensors, and how effective and scary just that one tiny little piece is.
Well, I mean, and I can't help but think that there is a version of this kind of stuff that, when deployed humanely and correctly, it could potentially save lives or cause things to operate more efficiently, So just putting that out there. I don't think it's all entirely doom and gloom every step of the way, but there sure is a lot of doom and or gloom as well.
Right. Yeah. Well said, Noel, because right now, what we're talking about with real world AI is essentially an escalation of automation. Right, which humans have always tried to do, and pattern recognition, right? Going back to earlier conversations about every imaginable industry. What's happening now is that the use of the term AI is trying to push what we call the Overton window of a conversation. It's ignoring a very important fact, which is the folks in power, the humans in power, actually would not want a thing smarter than them. Instead, they need, as we said, a very clever vacuum cleaner. Takes massive amounts of input, capably, competently, consistently produces sophisticated conclusions based on the desires of the inputters. Rub the lamp, get the gin, make a request.
Yeah.
That's where we're at right now.
I'd like to imagine the general or the admiral that has some kind of autonomous vehicle that is at their command, right? So the operative term there is command.
Right.
And something you begin to really understand about militaries across the world is that they like to be in command of things. They like things to happen as somebody at the top says they should happen, and then they just Bruba go do kind of situation, rather than, a fully autonomous vehicle, let's say, goes out and does the thing that it thinks is going to achieve the goal of the commander.
Interesting.
There's some control issues, I would say, maybe in that situation, the way humans are organized. So just imagining an attempt to create something that would ever be beyond the control of, let's say, a 4-star general, it seems not possible or feasible that would even be on the table.
And there's never not a version of all this stuff that isn't driven by some ideology. Like, there's all this talk about the woke chatbots being too woke. We got to make them less woke. That implies a rewriting of the code, or like a twisting of the data, or a way that it hoovers it up, or what it includes and doesn't include. So it's like, we're making these things in our image, and that all varies depending on who's the person that's, got their finger on the button. I don't know, man. I'm really excited about this Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein movie, because I feel like we're living in a very Frankenstein-y kind of world where our creations are maybe gonna, wreak havoc on the world in ways that we didn't anticipate.
Yeah, and our pal Guillermo said, this is not a metaphor for AI. This is a film about humanity. I'm excited to see it. I love that more horror-based films are coming out. We also, the guy who did The Witch and Northman and Nosferatu, he's got a film coming out about werewolves.
He's doing a Wolfman. Yeah, I heard that. It's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. And this stuff right now, this AI stuff is our new shiny toy. The Pandora's jar is unscrewed. Innumerable badgers are automated to pop out the bag whenever you wish. And your favorite friends in government across the planet have no idea what to do next. Like we're not the experts, but get this, very few people are. There are no real human experts in this endeavor, in this concept of artificial intelligence, where, as we said, escalated aggregation, synthesis, pattern recognition, automation. No one is at the wheel. Like our pal Dan said earlier, a lot of equally uninformed people would like to be at the wheel.
And we sure have some pretty educated and informed people from this industry speaking out pretty loudly against this move fast and break shit kind of mentality and just, the knock-on consequences that are being completely ignored.
And we have people also, as we'll discover in this episode, we have people who are on the front lines of deploying this stuff with very serious consequences who are also raising concerns. So is it true that our favorite world governments are creating things they do not fully understand? Is it possible this could come back to bite them in the ass while their ass is still human?
Bite my metal ass, as Bender would say.
Yeah, I don't know how long we're going to be able to use the newest discriminatory epithet, clanker. Have you guys heard that?
That's been popping lately. Yeah. That's when it started to really feel like we were in a sci-fi story. People are like revolting against the machines and giving them these like borderline, which you might, reserve for like someone that you perceive as an other, from another country or something, like a racial slur. It's fascinating.
No, wait, I'm familiar with Ratchet and Clank, but what is this clanker?
Clanker is what people are calling the bots,
yeah,
the machines, any chat GPTs, they're calling them clankers. And like you said, Ben, in like a real negative sense, sort of like people said slop.
But we, on this show, Ben, Matt, and Noel,
we are friends to the machines.
Don't agree with the use of that term.
No.
Yes, put us at the top of the friendly part of the algorithm. Okay,
please.
please. We're going to talk about the future as well after a brief word from our sponsors that we also adore. Here's where it gets crazy. Yes, this is happening. Your government is leveraging AI. Unless your government is the tribal chief of North Sentinel Island, your government is leveraging AI, and it will bite them in the ass. It's chewing like at the lower thigh, back of the thigh right now, and it's going to get there. It's going to get there.
You might just think it's some little love nibbles right now, but just wait.
It's
higher and higher.
It's something in the eyes. So furthermore, every government with the ability to leverage or weaponize large-scale algorithms has already done so, has been doing so since the precedent of this tech became viable. Now, we were talking a little bit off air about the long history of this stuff, and I'd love for us to talk about these precedents, like you were pointing out, Matt, that often get ignored in these current conversations. And before we do that, we got to consider intelligence collection is older than humans. Intelligence collection, you could see it in wolves and corvids, right? They had the drone soldier relationship. The crow flies out, locates the prey, and then it goes back and tells the wolf where to go. And then the wolf kills the thing and is like, hey, nice job, buckaroo. This piece of the shank is for you. Let's hang out on Saturday. That's how
man.
it worked.
That's how the first CI was made. It was a crow.
It was a crow. Famous snitches. Yeah. Oxpeckers, rhinos, the list goes on and on. Look, most breakthroughs, quote unquote, in human society are ultimately going to mimic earlier evolutionary breakthroughs in the natural world. So this is, this is not a new thing. It's an escalation of earlier utility.
Yeah. It's so exciting, guys, just to be on the cutting edge, see all this money, so much endless money going into this brand new concept.
With such forethought and self-awareness. Shout out to Minority Report, pre-crime, right?
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
What me worry, says Alfred E. Newman. Our buddy Philip K. Dick, who was unfortunately not able to appear on the show this evening,
That guy rules, and he took a lot of acid.
he took too much acid.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, no, he took enough acid for him.
I think that's right. Yeah, Valis, if you really want to dig into some of his super weirder, more like self-referential work, that's a fascinating book. But absolutely, Minority Report. He definitely created the framework for so many sci-fi tropes that we know today, including like Minority Report and The Matrix and a lot of those types of things.
Is he iRobot? No, who's I?
That's Isaac
Isaac
Asimov.
Asimov.
Okay,
That's Isaac Asimov.
Okay.
I think when you asked that, Noel and I were both thinking of Do Androids Dream of Electric
Correct.
Sheep?
Which is Blade Runner. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so how would we describe Minority Report?
Well, okay, you get a pool. That's the first thing you got to do.
Yeah,
Then
Goo. It's got to be full of goo.
Steal some orphans.
Yes, get some
Psychic orphans.
Make them orphans, then steal them.
There we go.
There you go. Cart before the horse there, Ben.
Well, then hook them up to a giant computer that's going to analyze the stuff that they think and say, and then get it to spit out these little wooden things.
And then make the world's best touchscreen ever, with really good haptics and like Power Glove type user interfaces.
And then either get Tom Cruise or Connell Byrne.
Yeah, both would work. Both would work just fine. If you have to,
those guys.
Bradley Cooper will make do.
Yeah, he'll pop in.
Check his schedule first, but the idea is
he's busy making cheesesteaks these days. Did you guys know?
No, I didn't.
He's got a cheesesteak thing, a cheesesteak concern. I believe in New York. He partnered with this guy that's a famous Philly cheesesteak dude, and Bradley will be often seen back there slinging steaks. He takes it very seriously.
It's kind of badass.
It's called something in Coops is the name of the shop, and it's based on Angelo's cheesesteaks in Philadelphia, which is the best cheesesteak I've ever had in my life.
Don't do it. We're gonna get in trouble.
No, people love Angelo's now. People love Angelo's. I think I'm unimpeachable in my opinion about Angelo's. Okay.
Oh no,
it's gonna happen again.
You're right.
Everything is precedent.
So at the crux of this whole thing, much like Brad and his knowledge that one day cheesesteaks will be all that there is. Put
it like that, Matt. Wow. Okay.
The concept of Minority Report is that you can predict what's going to happen, so you can take actions before the major bad stuff occurs, right? And that's something that, Ben, I don't know if you recall, you've been talking about this since we started the show, that governments have been attempting to get this kind of magic mirror technology.
Well, it's just about data. I mean, it's about analyzing data points and how you use that and with what kind of bias you view those data points. I mean, that's no psychic orphans required, right?
Right. Well, our new psychic orphans would be LLMs. And I appreciate, Matt, that deep callback. Yes. Very weird, very old professors, very nice people over at DARPA. And, real-time predictions of future events are a thing that is much, like we've said, since we started hanging out, they're much closer than the public used to acknowledge. Like you can look, just moving on. Fine. We're not going to get into the specifics. Just know, please, friends and neighbors, we have been at the Arthur C. Clarke level of science versus magic, preventing, predicting disaster. We also, Just to show how far back this goes, may I share with you guys one of my favorite old industry jokes?
Oh my
Sure.
gosh, please.
Okay. How can you tell the NSA dudes in the elevators?
Something to do with suits. I don't know.
They're the ones looking at other people's shoes.
That's funny.
Oh.
It's funny if you're like in that environment.
Well, it's
very
funny. I mean, it's also sort of a dated reference, like the idea of like, I don't know that Gen Alphas would get the idea of looking at your shoes in the elevator, but yeah, that's funny.
OPS.
They're looking at other people's shoes.
Other people's shoes.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
But a lot of this has to do with the fact that we're super close to this has to do with the mass surveillance that kind of slipped its way through post 9/11 on everybody.
You can tell a lot about somebody by looking at their shoes. I mean,
Well, yes, you can.
And the history of when they buy shoes and where, and
Yes.
then you can look
How
at how
scuffed they are.
often. Yeah,
yeah, for
and
sure. This is Sherlock Holmes level detail observation.
Shout out to Prism.
Yeah, but the biggest factor for someone who is going to take on an action that would be anti whatever your organization is, whether it's a government or a corporate entity or whatever, you look at their associations with other people.
Kevin
And
Bacon them.
yes, once you've got that data alone, you can deep dive into other things to get, when do these folks hang out? Where do these folks hang out? What do these folks say on the phone to each other? You can do that if you need to, but all you really need at the surface is who's related to who.
Well, that's
right?
what we used to call metadata, right? Or at least in terms of like early NSA surveillance, getting the lid blown off of it. They kind of even came out and defended themselves and said, no, we're not listening in directly on you. We're just looking at this web of interconnected relationships and learning what we need to know from that.
Or make a Facebook, maybe.
Yeah.
Honey trap.
Hey guys, check out our group. Here's where it gets crazy. Also, yes, 1,000,000% agreed. Nobody checked the math on that one. It was always a fig leaf, just so you know. The monsters were always real. The call was always coming from inside of the house, way before modern government. This is happening right now. Just like when we sounded crazy about neonicotinoids and bees, your conversations, the metadata, to your point, Noel, and the content are largely on record. The data you provide is not necessarily being used against you. Instead, it's going to be fed into multiple governments via a proxy of private industry. It's going to be sluiced into this Leviathan level, objectively impressive software. And then it's going to be pushed toward what we would call a matrix of probability.
That's your thing, Ben. That's the Minority Report, right? A matrix of probability.
Yeah. What's the threshold?
Exactly.
Right?
The stats. I mean, it's all, it doesn't require any kind of ESP. It doesn't require any kind of ability to quote unquote predict the future. It requires an ability to seek out these patterns and then crunch the numbers with more and more degrees of accuracy.
And I remember there was this beautiful moment when we all realized that we are essentially disciples of the Matrix, the film, and it was awkward. It was like finding out that people go to the same church. They've just been sitting in different seats, and
we're disciples of Philip K. Dick, you know.
And I want to give you a shout out there, Matt, because you immediately called a lot of stuff that is not only now being mentioned in the public sphere in recent years. We know that in February of 2020, get this, guys, 5 years ago, in February of 2020, the U.S. said, we're going to commit via executive order, we're going to commit to doubling investment in what they called non-defense AI R&D. We've got a quote here from the National Archives from the executive order, and it's just funny because it's Noel, it sounds kind of like AI slop that you referenced earlier when you used the word slop. Can we get the quote?
Oh, we must. AI investments continue to emphasize the broad spectrum of challenges in AI, including core AI research, use-inspired and applied AI and R&D, computer systems research in support of AI, and cyber infrastructure and data sets needed for AI. And I just think you're so good-looking and smart and love your ideas so very much. I added
That's
that
a great
last part.
idea. Let me get started on that. I can make a plan if you'd like.
So, according to this plan, this proposal, which again existed way before, right, was made public in 2020. According to this, the investment will touch on almost every industry imaginable. And if you read the quotation, you'll see the vagary that I think irritates, fascinates, and excites us all about these high-level statements. They're like, AI, non-defense AI R&D. It's gonna be great for communication, medicine, transportation, agriculture, science. They're just word salading.
It's a broad spectrum, Ben. It's a broad spectrum.
It's use inspired.
And various use case scenarios, will be addressed.
But they hit a minor key, not an Epstein joke, at the very end where they say also security.
Yeah.
And at that point, you might be thinking with validity, hang on a tick. Didn't you say non-defense AI?
Hey, get out of here, kid. You bother me. No.
Well, guys, you need security to protect the AI itself, right?
There we go. Okay.
Right. These are very expensive proprietary systems we're talking about here.
Of course.
You're Shark taking us, and I'm here for it. All right, let's hear
Just
it.
saying, this data infrastructure that we're talking about here, guys, we're talking about football field upon football field of servers, and that stuff is sensitive. So you're going to need to protect it with, I don't know,
the military.
Private sector, third-party contractor.
Right.
Yes.
That
BlackRock.
definitely did not once use the name Blackwater.
There you go.
Yeah,
Thank you.
where's old Eric? Where's he sending people right now? Was it he's got a big operation going on in Africa right now. It reminds me of our talks about Wagner and what they were doing in Africa. Hold on, wait a second. I'm making connections here that I'm not supposed to be making. Wait. Uh-oh.
Oh, ask ChatGPT, Matt.
Error.
Or what is that? The little South Park mentioned it as well. The
Yeah. Oh, got little bubbles.
I love those. Dylan, sorry. If you need to do the sound cue for that, got your back. There it is. Oh, Matt got it.
Oh, wait 1 second there. No more typing in ChatGPT. We have to hear from our sponsors.
And we have returned. So, fast forward, it's the 14th of August, 2025, not too long ago. And this is when the United States of America officially announced the deployment of USAI, not to be confused with USAID.
Well, that's
No
not
funding
around anymore. Yeah. Went the way of NPR.
We've got an official press release here that might help explain where the administration's head is at.
The launch of USAI, a secure generative artificial intelligence evaluation suite that enables federal agencies to experiment with and adopt artificial intelligence at scale, faster, safer, and at no cost to them. Now available at usai.gov.
This sounds like the Tegrity Farms joke in the most recent episode of South Park, where they pivoted from like a weed business to who knows what, an AI-generated cyber weed concept.
I'm not done. The platform puts powerful tools such as chat-based AI, code generation, and document summarization directly into the hands of government users within a trusted, Standards aligned environment.
Use inspired, standards aligned.
Get it
What's
in their hands.
Not to love.
Yeah.
Oh my God, big brother.
Standards
I can't
aligned.
believe you were thinking about us. Thanks, man. So essentially, this would be what, a federal version of ChatGPT.
Chat
LLM.
USA.
Chat USA, yeah. This is for America. If we're being honest, though, this is a tech security situation on par with the acquisition and possession of the atomic bomb, which means that even if your country, anywhere you live, even if your country somehow understands the dangerous possibilities of artificially created superintelligence, logically, they're going to conclude, just like the bomb, that not having it is more dangerous than having it.
Yeah.
Consequences be damned.
I mean, you wouldn't want to not have it in case you needed it. I mean, just, it's better to just have it.
What if it's just the CIA World Fact Book, like as the primary piece of, stuff that it's fed, and then it's just real time, gathering after that point. But it's just everything in that book plus what's actually happening right now.
Well, they'll have the public fact book, but then they'll have the secret book too.
Mm-hmm. And that's
the
way bigger.
It's way bigger. It's way crazier. And in my opinion, it's less accurate.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, because, they're just sort of writing their opinions for decades and decades. You know what I mean? They're like, you'll get in the public when you get all the stats about the geography of Turkmenistan, right? And the public history. But in the secret one, you've got this 3-page monograph where someone's like, the most fascinating thing about the Turkmen is their predilection for elbow.
Oh,
ooh, show me some elbow.
Yeah, it also includes all the times that the U.S., went in surreptitiously and overthrew governments. That's probably in the unofficial CIA fact book.
All right. Yes. And I just want to note that is not a typo. They did say elbow singular.
Show me some elbow.
Concept.
Yeah, exactly.
The predilection for elbow. So
what does that mean? Does it literally mean like they're horny for elbows?
I'm not at liberty to disclose.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and say,
Yes. Okay, good. Because same.
Yeah. Actually, the etymology of the term weenus does go back to Turkic language.
No.
Fine.
Nuh-uh.
We'll keep it.
All right. Okay.
It's quote unquote podcast true.
yeah. I'm just imagining this getting translated into German one day.
Yes, that's going to be the thing that makes us go viral. It wasn't COVID. It was our dumb Turkmen elbow joke. Yep. That'll be quoted.
How do they feel about ankle is my question.
Ooh, yeah.
That might be a little too hot.
Good luck keeping up with this conversation, you clanker. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
no,
I'm just
no,
kidding.
No, don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. He knows not what he says.
Clanker with the hard R?
Jesus,
Matthews.
Matt. We can't hang out anymore, buddy. I'm sorry.
No. We're
No,
here.
I'm kidding. We're here. We're all here together.
We're here. The only way out is through.
That's also true.
So, yeah, the world leaders right now, while they're still human, they're killing themselves to basically keep up with the Joneses, right? This is not NFT. This is Oppenheimer. That's where we are at. And it's unfortunate that we're all here together in 2025 at a time when history is being written. People like their history at a remove. You know what I mean? People like knowing about bad stuff that happened in the past and looking at good stuff in the future. We're in the middle point.
Do you guys remember 25 years ago when BattleBots was like one of the biggest TV shows on the planet?
BattleBots. Yeah.
Sorry.
Cool, man. I wanted to be one of those bot controllers.
That was so
I wanted to be a
cool.
battle bot guy.
We're
Mhm.
really sorry, whoever whatever
AI
you are
overlord?
listening, just
Yeah.
that we even did BattleBots. That was wrong of
It
us.
was wrong of us.
It
We knew
did not
what we
age
did.
well.
No.
So we, as the representatives of the organic civilizations, take accountability and hope they. All right, fine. Look, and see. Despite all the valid alarmist concerns about these long-term consequences, we got to say it. A lot of the applied quote-unquote AI right now is bureaucratic stuff.
Right.
The people in charge are often worshipped like celebrities, and folks tend to imagine that they are way dumber or way smarter than they actually are. They are like college students right now who get a massive assignment or a paper, and they ask something like ChatGPT to give it a paragraph summary.
Right.
And then they respond to that summary.
Right. People on Capitol Hill are not immune to this. They're not above this. I mean, the most, reasonable description of what this kind of stuff could be used for is like a little bit of a clerical assist, Like,
okay.
I think some of the best suggestions from smart friends of mine who have referenced using ChatGPT is running it through for some legal advice, running a document through to flag certain things that you can then go back and ask the right questions about, but not to put all your eggs in that AI basket.
Noel, would you say that's kind of a targeting assistance for a document?
No, I would not say that, and you can't make me.
We need to get Palantir in here. Some crazy guys. 3 people on their board of directors are named Alex. They've got Alex Karp, Alex Moore, and Alex Schiff. Isn't that weird?
Those sound like characters from Dark City or something like that. Like that's very. I don't know.
Mr. Book.
That. Exactly.
Yeah.
The Alexes. This is some dark stuff we're talking about here. Yeah.
Hold the chatbot here. We're going to pause for a 2-part series. We knew this was going to be a series going into it. We hope you have enjoyed this. There's so much more to get to later in the week. In the meantime, folks, human and bot alike, we can't wait to hear your thoughts. So hit us up via email. You can call us on a telephonic device. You can find us on the lines.
Yeah. Hit us up at botthoughts@stufftheydon'twantyouto.com. Yeah, no, don't do that. You can, in fact, though, find us the handle Conspiracy Stuff, where we exist on Facebook with our Facebook group. Here's where it gets crazy, on X, FKA Twitter, and on YouTube, where we have video content for your perusing enjoyment, on Instagram and TikTok. However, we're Conspiracy Stuff Show, and Matt's got more for you.
Oh, yes. There are so many uses of AI in so many different parts of government. What are the ones you're seeing that are giving you pause, or the things that are making you not sleep so great lately? Or maybe is it this? Maybe it's other stuff. It's probably other stuff. It is for all of us. But when you find something, why not give us a call and tell us about it? Our number is 1-833-STDWYTK. When you call in, give yourself a cool nickname and let us know within the message if we can use your name and message on the air. If you've got links, if you've got attachments, if you've got anything to say at all, why not send us an email? We are.
Hold the phone. Special message before we get into that. 0110-011-01110.
Ben, how dare you?
We are the entities that read each piece of correspondence we receive. Be well aware, yet unafraid. Sometimes the void writes back. Bot, human, otherwise. Join us out here in the dark. Conspiracy at iHeartRadio.com.
Stuff They Don't Want You to Know is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.